Imagine an elephant collapsing after being injected with a massive dose of LSD by scientists. Picture a covert CIA-run brothel where unwitting patrons are drugged with acid while agents watch through one-way mirrors. These scenes sound like science fiction, yet they actually happened under a top-secret CIA program known as Project MKUltra, a sprawling illegal series of human experiments in mind control conducted by the CIA during the Cold War. In this overview, we'll dive into the origins of MKUltra, its most shocking experiments, the key figures like Dr. Louis Jolly West, and how the truth finally came to light, revealing a reality stranger than any conspiracy thriller. Project MKUltra was a classified program launched by the CIA in 1953 amid Cold War fears that communists had discovered mind control techniques. CIA leaders warned that the Soviets were engaged in brain warfare, supposedly brainwashing prisoners of war and perhaps even their own citizens. In response, the CIA initiated MKUltra to find a weapon to control minds before America's enemies did. MKUltra Chief Sidney Gottlieb envisioned a two-step process. First, blast away the existing mind, then insert a new mind into the void. Over the next 20 years, MKUltra researchers tested an array of methods to manipulate the human psyche, from hypnosis and sensory deprivation to outright torture such as electroshock. A particular focus was on psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, administered often without consent to unwitting subjects. The program operated under extreme secrecy, using numerous front organizations to funnel CIA money into universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. At least 80 institutions were involved, sometimes without even knowing the CIA was behind the research. Operation Midnight Climax. The CIA set up safe-house brothels in San Francisco and New York, where sex workers on the agency's payroll lured men and dosed them with LSD without their knowledge. Agents observed from behind one-way mirrors, filming the encounters to study the drug's effects and potential use in interrogation. Surprise acid tests. CIA officers slipped LSD into drinks at the office, making acid at work an occupational hazard. One operative went psychotic after an unexpected dose and ran through Washington, D.C., seeing monsters in every car, even after a 1953 incident where U.S. Army scientist Frank Olson was secretly dosed, suffered a breakdown and plunged to his death from a 13th-story hotel window. The testing continued. Officially ruled a suicide, later evidence suggested Olson may have been murdered to cover up the program. High-dose LSD experiments. 7 inmates in a Kentucky prison were given LSD every day for 77 days straight. Boston mobster Whitey Bulger volunteered for medical research in prison, only to be dosed daily for over a month, leaving him hallucinating about blood running down the walls and men turning into skeletons. Even the future Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, was subjected to harrowing psychological experiments as a young Harvard student, an unwitting participant in an MKUltra sub-project. Psychic driving in Canada. Scottish psychiatrist Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron, funded by the CIA, used psychic driving to try to wipe and rebuild patients' minds. He put people into drug-induced comas for weeks, blasted them with massive electroshocks and played looped messages over and over. Many emerged unable to speak, recognize family members or remember much of their lives. One of MKUltra's most notorious figures, psychiatrist Dr. Louis Jolly West, proposed combining drugs and hypnosis to implant false memories. In 1962, he infamously injected a bull elephant named Tusco with an enormous dose of LSD at the Oklahoma City Zoo. The animal collapsed within minutes and died less than 2 hours later. A miscalculated and ultimately fatal experiment. By 1967, West had embedded himself in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district during the Summer of Love, renting an apartment as a crash pad for observing the hippie scene. This was the same neighborhood where Charles Manson and his followers were active, leading to speculation, though no proof, that their paths crossed. West was also appointed psychiatrist to Jack Ruby, the man who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. He declared Ruby psychotic, further fueling conspiracy theories about silencing key figures in major historical events. MKUltra operated in the shadows for 2 decades until the mid-1970s. When congressional hearings revealed its existence, the public learned that the CIA had been drugging and psychologically torturing people, including U.S. citizens, without their consent. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MKUltra files destroyed. Only a small cache of financial documents survived by accident, offering glimpses into its scope. The program is now remembered as a chilling example of unchecked government power. While MKUltra failed to create mind-controlled super agents, it left behind a trail of broken lives and a legacy that still fuels conspiracy theories. And that's just scratching the surface of Project MKUltra, a web of experiments, cover-ups, and unanswered questions that still ripple through history today. We've only pulled back the first layer. In the next episode, we'll dig deeper. Please be sure to check in next time. The next rabbit hole might be even darker than this one.